Trade recap today, Thursday. And today, even though I was expecting a lot better price action, it was a pretty good. It was one of the first days where I actually learned something pretty valuable. Um, yeah. So going into today, we had a very perfect setup. We knew the draw was higher. We came down, took out previous lunch lows, and then we came down, swept this low inside of this 15-minute for value gap. And so I was waiting for the macro time to open up and to see some sort of trade. So uh we had a high right here and we displaced with this fair value gap. And I've seen this happen a decent amount of times already. So I know that this was definitely a really good entry. We had this inversion for value gap, and this for value gap lined up perfectly, BPR. So my stops were at this fair value gap low. Enter right there. And then my take profit was the 5-minute fair value gap right here. Uh, right there. Uh, where is it? Yeah. So this first dash line is the opening range gap 50% level, which in the first 30 minutes, there's about a 70% chance of it getting hit. So I saw that, and I put my take profit like, what is that? Like 4 ticks above it, 5 ticks above it. And basically, since I enter right here, it hit the opening range gap. The wicks respect it, and we got a lot of displacement down. So I put my stops to break even, and then it went straight to my TP. So TP was around um like 3 ticks away from getting hit, so that sucks. So I got break even right there. Then it immediately hit my TP, and then we chopped around forever, bro, like for a long ass time. And so technically my mentor took the win, so he got off today. And I've noticed that obviously I lose confidence if my mentor isn't trading with me because I like to have his insight on it because he's been trading it way longer than me. But uh that just leads to me not being confident of taking the setups at like later times or something. Like if he takes one, then I'm not confident, even though the setup is like perfect in the other sessions to trade. So that is definitely something I got to work on. I just need my own confidence, and the only way I can really do that is by not watching my mentor anymore. And I've only been trading this model for like I want to say 2, 3 weeks, and I really like it, and I do want to continue to use it, but I want to make sure that I know all of the ins and outs of it. So at least a month I want to spend, probably 2 months, still trading with my mentor. Just because I want to know every single little thing that goes into it and explanations on why this is that and this is that. Um, yeah, so even though I do lack that, it will come eventually. Um, and I do need to stop watching live streams, but right now that is not where I'm at. I believe I still not need to, but it's a good idea to keep watching it. So I ended up so yeah, I was tape reading, right? And what is it? The second time I would take trades were from 10:45 to 10:15, right? So I saw all this chop, right? And um actually I just want to see where the SMTs were right here. Um okay. Yeah. So at this point we had an SMT at this low. What? Where'd it go? Yeah, okay. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, so we had an SMT at this low right here. And then we got that displacement up above that high, and then this fair value gap right here with the inverse fair value gap. Um, and then it failed, right? During that time. I didn't take the trade. I only took that break even one. And then I was like, okay, that was like a pretty perfect setup. Price action is just really bad today. It was during the time I enter trades on. And so I sat out. Um, but this is the learning point that was really important today. We had this SMT with this low right here, right? But there was still this low right here that we could come and sweep. So this is when the actual move happened. When we have this right here, ES swept all of these lows, as you can see right here. So all the liquidity right there is swept, and we're not going to come down here to sweep anymore, right? So all the liquidity right here is swept, and then we get to the displacement above that high, and then that's where price eventually took off. So the reason why this one failed right here, well, two reasons actually. We had a SMT at the highs, before the entry, and so I wasn't confident with that. And also because he didn't sweep out all of the lows. When all of this low resistance liquidity is swept, then and we're inside of this high time frame PD ray, right? Then then that is a good opportunity to actually look to see the opposing liquidity. Um, so yeah, ES swept all these lows, right? And we had a small SMT with these lows too. We saw displacement right here above the high. Got that big fair value gap right here. And the highs were still intact right here. So this is where I should have entered, and this is where I was thinking of entering, but I just took it on paper instead. Because I wasn't confident with it. But going forward, now I know the reasons why I should have been confident with that, and if I see it again, I won't hesitate to, trade it. Um, but yeah, I believe I put them. Yeah, I put them at this low right here. Just because I didn't think that this fair value gap was gonna get filled, I thought it was just gonna be this. But the way price action was, I wanted to give it a little bit more room, so I did a little bit less than the 25-point stop, and targets were. We actually had a lot of targets today. We had these data highs. Excuse me. Um, news highs. I mean, news highs. We had Asia highs, and we had previous day highs all up here. So I'm just gonna put one because that would have been my final TP before I left like one runner to go. Um, just because we're in this buy model still, and I want to see the high above this high get hit. So that's previous day high. So that was my draw. And see what the RR would have been looking like. 3.4. Um, but if I'm gonna be honest, I probably would have added on to my position at some point. Uh, actually, I'm lying. Considering price action wasn't clean in the morning, I probably wouldn't have added to my position actually. But needless to say, this still would have been a $1750 trade about if I took it, and I should have taken it. But like still started at 11:09, and then it took to like an almost an hour after to actually hit. This entry right here should have already taken it to that high, to be honest. Yeah, price action just wasn't as clean as everyone was expecting it to be. But yeah, this was a setup that I should not have missed, and a little tight about that, but it is what it is. Let's see the rest of the day. Yeah, and then also later in the day, just with like low size, I wanted to try to see if we can get a trade up to these highs right here, because that's where I thought the draw was still, which it is definitely the draw. It's gonna be hit, probably if not today, definitely tomorrow. Um, so I saw this on the 5 minute. I saw it both on ES and NQ. So this exact setup, we're correlated, all that crap. We have this. We swept sell side right here. We came into this imbalance. This was a 15-minute imbalance. We had a we had an SMT at the lows. Um, and let's see. I'm wilding out right now. Yeah, so price came down. Since this was balanced, right? We came down to OTU of the range. We tapped this order block. We went a tick down into it, and then immediately got a lot of displacement out of it, inversing this 5 minute gap. closing above that high strongly, and we had a fair value gap right here with the breaker block and inverse fair value gap. So 5 minute model right here. Um, but apparently that I was just off sides and that did not end up working. We just displaced right through. I was out of my position in like 2 minutes or something. Um, and that was I really, so this is what I wanted to say, right? So when I'm not trading and I'm waiting patiently for my setup, like I waited patiently last Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then today, right? I waited a week to take another trade, and it ended up the price came like 2 or 3 ticks in my take profit, and I got break evened. Um, and then it continued to hit it, and then hit my final target too. Uh, that low key pissed me off because I knew exactly where price was gonna go. I knew when it was gonna go there. It just happened to manipulate down some more because price was just pretty choppy in the AM session until the macro, the second AM macro. But that kind of, whatever, it's fine. And then that setup happened at 11 and it was perfect and I didn't take it because I saw the other setups failing and now I understood why it was working and why I should have taken it. So number one, should have taken some profits in the first one. Second one, missed the perfect setup to actually go to those highs. And then I took a paper trade, right? I took a paper trade in my classes and it hit full take profit too. So I was like, okay, just didn't make any money, missed the setup, and then took a paper trade and made bank. And then I'm like, okay, I'll just wait to PM session, see if there's anything to offer, see if we still want to come up to, these highs. And I saw a pretty good setup, I thought. And then I got stopped out really quick. So there's a lot that happened today. And I'm not gonna lie, the feelings of trying to gamble and just like enter on something stupid and it probably would have worked, but I wouldn't deserve that in the long run. That would have destroyed me. Um, let me let me okay, no, that is not at all what I want. Um, yeah, any other day, I would have blown my account on this day. I would have 100% gambled on this day. And like it's really not that deep, bro. I'm down not even $400 on my account. Like it really isn't that deep. We still have tomorrow. Tomorrow should be decent. But like I got so close to just like entering on something stupid and like full porting and just risking my whole entire cap like account on this thing. And like I just have to think that that is exactly how prop firms are profitable. That is exactly what every single unprofitable trader does. No profitable traders do that shit, right? And what do I want to be so fucking bad as a profitable trader? So why the fuck would I do that, I really had to like I had to talk myself into not doing that. Um and like I don't know, it sucks. Like I can't manually lock myself out like top step accounts. My Fund of Futures doesn't have that. I wish I could and I would have, but like it doesn't have that. So I just kept ending up logging back in, putting like limit orders and just hoping it would fill. Um I sent a limit order for a third trade because one was break even, one was a loss, right? I set it for a third trade right after, and I was like, and price was this close to filling me. I was like, what the actual fuck am I doing, bro? Stop being a fucking retard, bro, and take that fucking off. Do it on paper trade if you want to take more trades, but stick to your fucking rules, man. Like it's not that fucking hard. Just take the setups when it fucking happens. I took the setup today. Unfortunate, it got broken even, but I still hit TP. Missed one. That's my fault, and then it hit TP. So there's no one else to blame but me. And I just have to deal with that. Made a couple mistakes today, learned a lot, and again, I'm only down 350 on my account, so I could care less. So looking forward to tomorrow. Hopefully, I take that back. I'm sure I will. But yeah, that's the recap for today. And yep, that's it.